Cool. I'm continuing from chapter 20.8, pattern 1, root not modified. Verbs that follow this pattern do not modify their root in formation of in the formation of their present tense stem. Many verbs fall into this regular category, and we're discussing chapter 19. For example, roots ending in iota or upsilon, e.g., aku, akuo, aku, akuso. B. Contract verb, for example, poe to poio, poe to poieso. C. Roots end in the stop. Blap to blapo, blap to blapso. Liquid future. We will learn next time. The roots are normally used without modification in all the tenses and are therefore quite recognizable, except that the final stem vowel is lengthened outside the present tense. Say, for example, agapsol, agapao, present, agapeso, future, agapesa, aorist, agapeka, perfect active, agapemai, perfect middle, agapethane, aorist passive. In all these tense forms, you can see the same verbal root, agapa. Pattern 2, root modified regularly. Roots are in this category modified in irregular ways for the formation of the present form, present tense stem. In most cases, knowing the pattern is sufficient for recognizing the inflected form. However, in few of the cases, it might be easier to memorize. These roots fall into 3 basic subpatterns. First, roots end in a stop. Roots that follow this pattern end in a stop, but unlike the roots in 1C above, these roots are modified in the formation of their present tense stem. The axal form. Azo verb. The present tense form of the verb that end in izo or azo are generally formed. Roots are actually end in a dental. For example, baptizo is from the root baptis. The final letter of the verbal root was changed to zeta to form the present tense stem, and from the future as baptizo, which is regular. Baptizo. Remember, dental stop and the dental dropout before a sigma. Sol verb. The present tense stem of verb that ending asol, alpha, sigma, omega, are generally formed from the root and actually end in velar. For example, trouble is from the root tarax. The final letter of the verbal root was changed to double sigma to form the present tense stem. You form the future regularly as taraxo. Tarax and the sigma omega taraxo. Taraxo. Remember, vela and sigma forms psi. A vela and sigma k. And vela and sigma form a k. Double consonant present tense stem that in the double consonant are often from roots with a single consonant, excluding alpha, sigma, omega verb. For example, blah is from the root blah. The double lambda only appear in the present and imperfect tenses. A single lambda is found in other tenses. C. Letter added. C. Letters added. Some roots add a letter or letters to form the present tense form. The added letter will not appear in the other tenses. In the present tense below, notice how the roots is visible in the future. Some of these future forms do not show the sigma tense formative in the future. This will explain below. Iota, some root add a iota to form a present tense form. For example, alpha and rho plus iota became alpha iota, rho and omega became I rho. And in the future tense, it only adds omega. And some roots add sigma kappa or alpha sigma kappa if the tense stem if the stem ends in the consonant to form the present tense form. For example, it's alpha pi omicron theta alpha nu became aposnesical and apothame became aposanumai. The present tense the present tense add sk So what is the point about this? There are two ways to learn all the tense form. You can either memorize every tense of a verb, or you can learn the roots and patterns that allow you to identify modes of tense stem, and then memorize a few that are especially difficult. Pattern 3, different roots. The different roots are very few. For example, the future of Arao means I see from the root Ahora is of of a fomi is an infected regular deponent future. Its root is a pole. When the sigma is added, the p and sigma, the pi and sigma upsomi from the psi according to the regular rules. What happens is that in the future, uh, a row ceased being used and is as did the present of upsomi. The two form therefore got together and function as if they were the same word. There are only 9 verbs in the New Testament that do this. The first 3 are listed below, 6 more to go. This must be memorized. First one is icon. Uh, the root is rocks, rocky, epsilon, rho, xi, no chi, rokumai, orkumai, urkomai, icon, and I will come. The root is aluth, aluthomai. I will come. Lego, I say. Earl, I will say. Hora, horao, I see. Op, opsomai, I will see. Most of the time, when the future tense is deponent and the present tense is not, or vice versa, the verb use different root to form the present and future tense, like hora or op. Deponent. About. We have already seen this in some nouns that their vowels change length or even drop. The same can happen in verbs. For example, the root apothane loses step alpha in the formation of the present tense form, and as ask became apothnesco. Apothnesco. It is retained in the future upon apothanomai. Review. We have covered a lot of so far. Let's stop for a moment and see how you're doing. Remember, a little extra work from work up front helps reduce memory work and increases understanding in the long run. Here are the verbs that we have learned so far and will learn in this chapter that are affected by this discussion. Work through each one and identify its category. Root, present, future. Then we'll have liquid future coming tomorrow. God, please bless me.